Also want to bring in the Democratic senator from Arizona, Mark Kelly, who met with Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky just this morning. Senator, first of all, let me get your reaction to what you saw in the Oval Office. And did you have any inkling at all that, based on your conversation with President Zelensky, this could turn quite so contentious?
I did, not from our meeting this morning. But, Chris, let me just start by saying what a complete and utter mess. And this is a gift to Putin. And make no mistake, and I hope the American people get this, that this makes us look weak. And it's not normal behavior. The United States, Chris, we are a superpower. Our powers, our military, our economy, our diplomatic corps, our professionalism. This was not professional. We don't gain anything by acting like bullies. And this is what bullies do. And just because you act this way, by the way, it doesn't mean that you're tough. So this is a mess. I hope we can repair this relationship. President Zelensky and his country, they are grateful. You know, saying thank you in the Oval Office, being put on the spot like that is, it seemed to me that it was just, J.D. Vance saying, hey, look what I can do, Dad. And it doesn't help the situation. This negotiation should have been done behind closed doors. And this morning we had a good meeting, Democrats and Republicans in the Senate that support Ukraine. We had a good meeting with the president. We talked about a lot of issues. We didn't do it in front of cameras intentionally. Roger Wicker, in fact, asked, there were some cameras there, and we had them leave the room before we started to have the discussion. That's the way you should do this.
So let me ask you then about where this goes from here. And I wonder where you think your Republican colleagues will be, because, and I can't say that I have done an exhaustive search because I've been on the air, but I've only seen one Republican member of Congress, who is a member of the House, say anything negative about what they just saw in the Oval Office. And where does this go from here? And does Congress have any role in it at all?
Well, we have a role. I mean, we do our own negotiations. We do our own diplomacy, so to speak. So we do have a role. We can push the administration. Hopefully, we can get them to come back to the negotiating table here. But we are in a much worse position. Our European allies, especially, are looking at this and they're thinking to themselves, I mean, what just happened? What happened to the United States of America that used to be the leader of the free world? And, I pointed out in our meeting this morning, that I was rather disappointed that our country, we're about to celebrate our 250th birthday, which is a big deal and it's exciting. But now we're dealing with one of our allies like this is a business transaction. I mean, that's not the way we have traditionally done things. And so where do we go from here? I think the president and the vice president need to figure out how do they pick up the pieces from this total disaster and get back to the table and negotiate in a way that is who we are as a nation. I mean, we have principles, we have values, and we don't berate our allies in the Oval Office. I've never seen anything like this before. And throughout our entire history, there have been a lot of tense negotiations between countries. We don't do this in public. This did not get us anything. And I think it's important for the American people to understand, because of what happened today, we are all less safe. And I'll tell you, there was one winner in this, Chris, one winner. And if you watch Russian TV tonight or tomorrow morning, you will see that they're going to cover this. They're going to be happy about this. Putin and his cronies are probably popping champagne bottles right now.
We should also do a fact check, even though I don't think most people need a fact check, but I'll say it anyway. In spite of what President Trump has refused to say, Russia invaded Ukraine. Vladimir Putin made a decision to go into a sovereign nation, and innocent people have died. Tens of thousands of people have died, including women and children, not to mention the number of soldiers who have died.
He targets schools and hospitals. He is a war criminal. And we have members of this government, Donald Trump's government, that won't admit that Russia invaded Ukraine. even though you can clearly see, I mean, tanks, armored personnel carriers, troops, weapons coming across the border 3 years ago. If Russia didn't invade Ukraine, who was that? And they refuse to acknowledge what are facts. We do not have to fact check that.
And it is for that reason that the United States has been a staunch ally and has done a lot of work to get our allies together to support Ukraine. Arizona, your state, has played an important role. They've served as a training base for Ukrainian pilots. I know you've talked to them. What does it mean to Ukraine? What does it mean to them to have less support in the U.S. in this fight?
I've met with Ukrainian pilots in this office, one of which is now deceased, flying in combat in the F-16. I've met with them at Davis Monthan Air Force Base. They are just fighting. They're fighting for their lives, literally. And the reason we're in this is not just to help Ukraine. This is in our own national security best interests. This keeps us safer. Vladimir Putin wants to rebuild the Soviet empire. He has made that very clear. If he looks at what he has done in Ukraine as a positive thing, then we should and can expect him to attack a NATO ally, a Baltic country, maybe Poland. We talked about that with President Zelensky this morning. And if he does that, we have an obligation to defend them. Now, Donald Trump has dismissed our NATO obligation like it's somewhat optional. It is not optional. And having allies keeps us safer. It keeps our economy stronger. And what happened today makes us look weak, and it is making us less safe.
Senator, I have new information that is being reported by NBC News, and I want to get your reaction to it. A White House official tells NBC President Trump and U.S. officials asked President Zelensky to leave the White House and that Zelensky is not welcome back today. The official says Zelensky did not walk off on his own and that the Ukrainians were asking U.S. officials for a reset and to continue with the meetings. But again, President Trump and U.S. officials asked him to leave. Your reaction?
Well, I saw that. I saw he got kicked out of the White House. President Trump wants to look tough. I mean, this is a guy, remember, this is a guy that avoided military service. You know, said he has bone spurs. So I think he has spent his entire life trying to look tough. But in him trying to look tough, he is making us less safe, and he's making our entire country look weak. And who is the winner? It is Vladimir Putin. It is a war criminal who's intentionally killing women and children and old people, targeting hospitals, targeting schools, a guy who should be in jail. He's the winner today. And when President Zelensky asks for a reset, that's 100% what you should do. You should get back in the room with the cameras turned off, in private, have a discussion about this. You know, maybe you take a break for a few minutes, regain your composure. Maybe you leave J.D. Vance outside of the room. You know, I didn't see our Secretary of State should have been involved, you know, in this conversation. I voted for him. Our fellow senators, we have a lot of confidence in him. I want to hear his voice in this conversation. We put him there for a reason. You know, he has traveled around the world. I know him well. We need other people standing up to when this administration, speaking truth to power, when they do dumb things, we need people in the administration speaking out against it. So I'm disappointed, you know, that they kicked Zelensky out of the building. That is not productive. You know, they could have spent the entire afternoon trying to work something out. You know, Zelensky's probably on his way to an airplane now, and who knows, you know, when the reset button is going to get hit here. But you know, if we don't resolve this conflict, Russia is going to continue to murder Ukrainians. They're going to, over time, with the help of now the North Koreans, they're going to claim more territory. This is going to be a harder issue to resolve. It's going to be harder to get to peace if it waits. I want this conflict to end, but I want it to end in the right way and not on the side of the Russians. I mean, if it almost feels like we've almost fully switched sides here. That's not who we are as a nation, Chris.